Hi, this is Sue Derby at Shorewest Realtors with this week's edition of Tuesday's 2 Cents Worth. In real estate, I've worked with many people who have their homes in a trust that they are the trustees for. I'm curious about the advantages of having your property in a trust, and I thought that you might be curious too. So today I'm talking with attorney Pam Flores, who's an estate planning attorney in Waukesha. I'm happy she's here to give us a clear understanding of what having a property in a trust entails. So let her do the talking.
Thanks, Sue, for having me. There's a lot of benefits of having your house in a trust, and number one is to avoid probate. So whether you have a will or you don't have a will, those go through probate, which is managed by the court system. When your house is in a trust, it avoids probate. So after you pass, the house can go to your beneficiaries rather quickly. They could either buy it from the trust if they wanted to, or the trust could sell it within a couple weeks after you pass away and distribute the money. So it happens quickly, whereas probate could take 12 to 18 months. The next thing is that trusts are private, and you're the only one who knows what's in your trust. So you could add as much property to your trust as you wanted. And I always encourage my clients not to use their names in their trusts. And that gives you another layer of privacy, so people don't know who owns the real estate. It's the name of a trust. The third thing is control. You control what goes in and out of your trust, and that's especially helpful in cases of incapacity. So if you're unable to handle your affairs, you have someone called a successor trustee that can handle them for you, and you tell that person ahead of time about how you want your affairs handled and how they should handle your property. So let's say that you needed to sell your house to pay for care. Your successor trustee could step in and sell your house very quickly to make sure that you got the care that you needed. So the next is flexibility. Trusts are very easily amended, and it's very easy to move real property in and out of a trust if you needed to. And the other thing is that if you need to amend the trust of who you want to inherit your real property, it's very easy to do that. You just need to draft a simple amendment and you just sign it and notarize it. You don't need to go through any sort of formalities. So it can happen very quickly as well. Last benefit we have is asset protection. So once your house is in a trust and you leave it to your beneficiaries, as long as it stays in the trust, it's going to be asset protected from your beneficiaries' creditors. So let's say that you leave your house outright to one of your children, but someone sued them, and now it's going to be one of their assets that could get attached, and the house would have to go to the creditor. As long as it stays in the trust, it's asset protected. Mm-hmm. And the trustee could also sell the house and then keep the proceeds in the trust to protect it as well before it goes out to the beneficiary. And you can also decide to just have the money from the proceeds of the house to go to the beneficiary in increments if there was a question about the way the beneficiary was handling money, or if you felt that they had financial issues that they couldn't, handle a large inheritance. Mm-hmm. So those are the main benefits of having it in a trust. But there's also another pitfall I'd like to go over, and that's with what we call transfer on death deeds. And people hear of this because what you do is you can file this document with the Register of Deeds, and as soon as you pass away, the property goes to your beneficiary without probate. It automatically transfers. And the problem with that is that if you leave it to multiple beneficiaries, you force them all to be property owners together. And that's kind of a hard thing when they may all have different goals, or some of them may not have the means to keep paying the taxes and the utilities until everything gets figured out.
I've noticed that sometimes that happens with second homes, like the cottage up north. Grandma left it to all the kids, and Some want to renovate it and some don't want to renovate it, and some want to sell it and some don't want to sell it. And it's a nightmare.
Yeah, and everybody has to agree. And if one person can't pay their fair share, the rest of them have to, or they'll get tax liens on it or something. So not always the best thing to do. And there's also a recent court case that came out where the house transferred. So when the person, the homeowner died, that's when title transfers. It transferred to a niece, and in the interim, the house burned down. And since the niece didn't take out homeowner's insurance in her name, the original homeowner's insurance denied coverage, and that was upheld by a court of appeals. So there are all these little pitfalls in that it's not the greatest thing to do. And it can also end up where your property goes to someone you didn't intend. So if you leave it to two people and one of those predeceases you, and you don't remember to change that, it'll go to their heirs, which is probably what you didn't intend.
Right.
So it's always best to see an estate planning attorney if you're looking to do anything like that, or if you want to move your house into a trust.
Right. Thank you very much, Attorney Flores. It really is important to meet with a trusted family estate attorney like Attorney Flores so that you're aware of all the pros and the cons of having your house in a trust. And then you can move forward with the plan that's best suited for your situation. Thanks for tuning in to Tuesday's 2 Cents Worth. This is Sue Derby at Shorewest Realtors, your local realtor ready to work hard for you. Please think of us if you have any friends or family considering a move. Travis and I promise we'll work very hard for them too. Thanks again, and thank you, Attorney Flores.